Hi, beloved. Welcome to Rewilding the Spiral Body, your daily practice for this next week. So, you should really only need to watch this video one time, and then you can freestyle it on your own. So, everything in nature is a spiral, right? From our fingerprints to the cosmos to the way waves come in and out of the shore, seashells, the way that trees grow, DNA, it's all one spiral, yeah? From the tiniest droplet out to the farthest expanse of the universe. Wow, what a magical thing, yeah? It's like this divine imprint, this sacred pattern, this divine God, right? Kind of coming through in form. So, spiral is very natural, it's very intrinsic to nature. Very much kind of at the core of embodied form, organic, alive beings. And yet, we are conditioned into a very kind of rigid, linear way of holding our bodies, right? Especially think about when you go out into the world, you go to the bank, you're driving your car. It's very taboo to swirl your hips or make a circle or, right? It's taboo. It's not allowed, right? We're very tight in the way that we're conditioned to be inside of our bodies. So part of this practice, rewilding the spiral body, is breaking out of that conditioning, letting the body have its freedom and its liberated spiral back, its circular nature, its three-dimensional nature, right? Coming out of linearity. And the other part of it, which is perhaps even more important, is these mystical practices are not designed to fix or resolve anything. The purpose of mystical practice is to take you into a direct experience of something that's intangible, unspeakable, God, direct realization, right? These places of wonder and awe that just kind of take us somewhere. So because the spiral is such a divine and holy movement, such a divine and holy pattern containing this divine cosmic wisdom, right? That's maybe even beyond what our minds can comprehend. There's something encoded inside of it that's deeply of the sacred, deeply of the way that the sacred kisses form, right? And of course, this feminine spiritual path is the immersion into how the sacred kisses form and being available to be kissed by that sacred. So the spiral body, I get my incense going here. Smoke has a nice spiral to it also. So you think of the body in three parts: the head, the heart, and the pelvis. And you're going to start your spiral at the head, going in one direction. And your spiral can look so many ways. It can be a tight little spiral. It can be a big spiral. But the real point is that I want you to not focus on getting it right or how you look. I want you to focus on how it feels inside. And eventually that spiral in the head is going to lead to the chest coming along for the ride. And as you do this, you can even imagine all the infinite fractal spirals in nature. Eventually my torso is going to be leading. And my pelvis eventually comes along for the ride. Until eventually my pelvis is actually leading. Movement originates my pelvis now. And you can tell my body is just kind of taking over at this point. Eventually it starts to move the other way. So eventually your spiral will complete itself and it will start in the other direction, which mine did naturally. And this time we start from the bottom up. So now the pelvis starts. Actually, the torso will start coming along until the torso is leading. Like you're a hurricane or a tornado or a galaxy, flower petal, whatever strand of DNA. And then eventually the head comes in again. Until my head is leading. And I like to take it all the way up sometimes to like the tip top of my head. Really feeling and then it starts going the other way again. And I really want to encourage you to just let this be wild, let it go. You know, your spiral might take you like off into some other, down here. Your hand might come in at some point. Let it be free. You know, you might find little tiny spirals and then big ones. The only prompt I'll give you is just to, start with the head leading in one direction, to the torso eventually leading, down to the pelvis eventually leading, and then eventually switching directions from the bottom up. Pelvis leading, torso leading, head leading, and then switching it up. Head leading, other direction, and torso. and then the pelvis. There's no way to do this, properly or appropriately. Once you really let go into it, you'll start you'll become the spiral in your body, and the spiral will take over. One thing I really want you to focus on, or just be aware of, is, this module, the distorted feminine that we're unraveling in module 1 is the fixation on appearance, right? Because to really know the deep feminine, we have to let go of our fixation on appearance. We have to let go of our self-consciousness and the performance of how we think we look, in order to deeply feel, to deeply surrender, right? To deeply go inside, right? And so the reason I want you to be aware of that is because oftentimes as women, once we get into that snake-like circular thing, sometimes it can turn into a sexy thing, right? Which, nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing to explore. But it's not what we're doing here. So just be aware of that. Don't let this go into a sexy performance. Really focus on feeling. Right? Letting it take you. It might take you in places that are quite sensual, and it might take you in places that are quite radically bizarre. And just, let yourself feel it, let yourself receive it, and remember that you're becoming the spiral, this great mother that's bursting through everything, that's down to the tiniest molecule, out to the expanse of the universe. This kiss of the sacred in form, in this body, this feminine form, this circle, this spiral. Enjoy.